As we continue our coverage on the latest our nation's latest gun violence tragedy, we are talking once again with Hartford Hospital's Dr. Laura Saunders. She's a child and adolescent psychologist we've spoken with many, many times before. Thank you so much for being back. I wish it was under different circumstances. Right. We have talked about this so many times on this very couch. How, in this latest round, do you talk to your kids about what happened?
This is becoming more and more of a painful journey, because while I usually like to say this is a low probability event, it's becoming less of a low probability event. And it's that dialogue that becomes painful. What I always say is take a developmental approach. For young kids, try to shield them from it as much as possible. With older kids, especially those that have access to media, they are going to find out about this. And you want to be able to at least have some dialogue. The guiding factor is let them ask their questions and then answer their questions.
This affected a high school. I know we were just talking, you have high schoolers, and I'm sure the discussion in your household is what is going on in many households. How were they affected by this?
I think a lot of people really take this personally, right? So if you're in high school, you think, this could happen to me in my high school. So that's really painful when it gets to that level. We here in Connecticut have a greater sensitivity to this issue because of Sandy Hook. It hits us more personally. So people that have a more personal connection to this kind of a thing, they perhaps know people in Florida or in that area of Florida, feel it in a deeper and more personal way. We need to start dealing with the underlying issues, but for now, we need to talk clearly, concisely, and without adding more anxiety to our kids.
I think it's really important to note the social media posts, the social media footprint of the suspect is incredibly disturbing. I have seen the images. It's no longer up right now. I think it's important to note that your kids who are on social media, your high schoolers, all of us, we're the eyes and the ears for seeing something like that before it happens. What do you tell kids if they see something disturbing online and they're not sure if they should tell an adult about it?
There's two factors here. It's communication and supervision. Having regular and ongoing dialogue with your kids about what they're seeing and what they're watching, having some level of supervision over it, but asking, did something come up that disturbed you? Or putting out that feeler. If anything, you read anything, you see anything, make sure you let me know, because we can put a plan together. It is greatly distressing that someone was putting a lot of negative information out on social media without it taking some of those next steps where people could do something to prevent this.
At this point, this is a societal problem that we're all dealing with right here.
Right. It is. And we need to really, as much as it creates a lot of anxiety for adults, I mean, teachers are so often the heroes in these situations, and we need to thank our teachers every day for the service that they give to our children, the love and the care, as well as the education. We really need to take these things to the next step, take this into action, but as parents, try not to put our anxiety onto our kids.
Dr. Laura Saunders, thank you so much for coming in again.
Thank you.
Lorenzo, back to you.
All right, thank you.